Season 2, Episode 6 of Tulsa King, titled Navigator, is intense with a lot of tension, and it's 37 minutes long. Now, the episode starts off with Dwight's daughter, Tina, who asks her father for a gun just for protection and everything. It's a nice comical intro to what is about to happen in the episode, or maybe some foreshadowing for that matter. I would say this is the episode I would call the sit down between New York, Kansas City, and Tulsa. And it's really, really done really well. But not only that, each character in this episode has a good amount of screen time, meaning it's focused on every single character, maybe for about 2 to 3 minutes, which is really good for a 37-minute episode. We see Bodie talking to Dwight's sister about how to expand the weed business, and Dwight's sister, basically Joanne, kind of says that we're gonna do some drop shipping. And if you don't know what drop shipping is, you know the whole aspect. And she's like, can we do it certain ways? And Bodie's like, how long is it gonna take? She's like, it'll be about 2 to 3 days. Get the site up for a week, but they can only do certain things because THC is still illegal in certain states, but the CBD isn't, so they'll base it off of that. Then you have Tyson, who is helping his father out and trying to fix the car, and he calls Dwight, who's before is on his way to Atlanta for the sit down. Tyson asks Dwight, I need to use a navigator for today, for some jobs with my pops. Dwight's like, go ahead. So we see Tyson going around with his father, driving around for the day, for the work week. And then with that, Dwight asks Mitch for, trying to, show his daughter Tina how to shoot a gun. So they have a nice little quarrel back and forth. That's a nice scene with Mitch and Tina. And then after certain things happen, Mitch is like, yeah, it's a beautiful daughter. And Dwight's like, but then he gets a phone call for some reason. And then we see Armand, which is the big focus of this kind of episode in a little bit, where Armand sees Bodie with like a black eye and a busted nose. He's like, who did that? Did Dwight do that? He's like, no, some Asian guys came in at this wind farm. I don't know, some rich millionaire guy, whatever. Armand goes to Thresher, and it's like, did you have anything to do with this? What's going on? Did you have... And then, Thresher, being the character that he is, and Neil McDonough plays these roles perfectly, it basically threatens Armand, saying that I almost gave you $50,000, and after taxes, that's the most you make in a year. He's like, I own you now. He's like, don't come to me anymore. And then he threatens him, threatens his kids, yada yada yada. And it's like, oh, okay. And Armand is smartening up a little bit, which is good. Which now he probably regrets what he did. Then you have Thresher kind of talking to, I guess he calls the Asian guy Jackie. I will call them the Triads. And it's like, the Triads is like, well, you have to get something done. You do it fully. And Thresher's just looking at him like, what the hell are you talking about? So then we have the big sit down with Tulsa, New York, and Kansas City. And Chicky is detained because he brought a pistol around his ankle, and he gets detained for 6 hours in LaGuardia while Vince goes to the sit down. And then you see Dwight and you see Bevilacqua, played by Frank Grillo. They go back and forth. Bevilacqua doesn't like it. You can see the tension rising. And it's like, what do we get out of this? And then, Dwight's like, I'll give you so much pounds of weed a week, 15% off the top. You get this, you get that. And then, Bevilacqua and him go back and forth. He's like, all right, 575, this and that. And it's like, okay. So you can see Tulsa and Kansas City made a deal. And then New York is like, what the fuck just happened? And he's like, okay, well, how about this? New York, Vince is like to Bevilacqua, how about we give you some fake Ozempic? I'll ship it for you. You got to keep it cold and everything. And Bevilacqua's like, yeah, sure, why not? So at the end of it, you can see Vince like, what the hell just happened? And Dwight's like, and then Dwight tells him like, yeah, I mean, hey, that's what it is. And basically, he's telling New York to go fuck themselves, which is hilarious. And then Vince goes back to New York, talks to Chicky. Chicky's like, well, did you reschedule? He's like, no, we didn't. We sat down. And Chicky and kind of, Vince have a little quarrel there. And it's like, Chicky throws a cup at the wall, kind of breaks, and then Vince is like, what the hell's going on? So Chicky's losing his mind a little bit. I don't see that character surviving. I see Vince coming up as the next head of the New York family. Then the big thing is that we see Tyson called Dwight and says, I want to buy the Navigator. I want to give it to my father. And, Dwight's like, yeah, sure. So at dinner one night, in a surprising way, Tyson gives his father the Navigator because the father loves that car. As they were driving, the warm seats, the heated everything with the lounge chair and everything. But all this time, they were being followed in a Prius. You think it's a Prius. It's like, oh, inconspicuous. But no. So I'll just leave it at that because something big happens, which is really, really shocking and unexpected, which changes Tyson immensely. And I didn't expect it at all. And that's the end of the episode. It's insane how crazy this show is getting right now in season 2. And we're only on episode 6. We have 4 episodes left until the season 2 finale, which is episode 10. So it's like, all right, things are rolling, things are going fast. But then it's like, who's on whose side? Who's, kind of what is going on? Who's going to call the revenge? Who's going to backstab who? Who's going to be smart? Who's going to be the... And then is the Mitch and Tina thing going on? Because that's a love story there. Will Dwight kind of put a hold to that? What's the whole thing with Joanne and kind of working in the weed business with Bodie? The wind farms, what's going to happen with that? And even that, Bevelak was like, we don't touch the stuff with the natives. We never did. We don't. And then, like, Dwight's like, whatever, I did. So, and it's like the triads, like the Asian guys, like, what is happening there? Will they be the ones, like, will Bevelak with Thresher and Dwight come together in a weird way and then get rid of the Asian guys? Or will Thresher meet his demise by the hands of the Asians? And it's like, what? So many questions. So many questions that need to be answered. But this was a fun, shocking episode. Love the sit-down scene because the tension was high, it was palpable, and it was there. And it's great, great acting from great actors. I mean, what more could you want? What can you do more in this season with 4 episodes left of my review with this video? A lot of questions, a lot of answers, a lot of craziness that's going to happen with some characters, and it's like, okay, some things will change characters, and I feel like it's starting to happen now, especially with Tyson. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about season 2, episode 6 of Tulsa King, titled Navigator. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What did you think about the progression, the sit down? Did you like how Dwight came to terms? Do you like that Bevilacqua thinks that he didn't make the right idea? What is the whole deal with Vince and Chicky in New York? Do you think Tyson will now be a changed man? Who do you think committed what happened in the end of this episode? Do you think it was Thresher, Bevilacqua, or the Asians? Who is the bigger threat of those 3 to Dwight? And what do you think will be the end result in season 2? And do you think we'll get a season 3 of Tulsa King? Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked. I'm Mr. Filmstock. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you all in the next review video. And be sure you tune in next week for my Season 2, Episode 7 review of Tulsa King.